So, good morning. Welcome to this month's Pew Adobe webinar. As Mark's away in a vendor event today, I'll be introducing the webinar. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Aled Davis and I'm the sales manager here at Pew. I say this month's webinar, actually that's not quite true because we do have a second additional webinar scheduled for the 22nd of May, so 3 weeks today. And I'll give a few more details on that a little bit later on. I'll just mention at this point that the webinar is being recorded. So if there is anything you need to refer back to or show to a colleague or whatever, then you will get a link to the recording in the next day or so. And actually that's true of all our webinars that we do here at Pew. So just something to bear in mind, if you can't actually make the date and time of the actual webinar itself, do make sure you register and you'll get a link to a copy of the webinar in a couple of days after its broadcast. As we go along, if you have got any questions that spring to mind, pop them in the chat and we'll try and answer them if we have time later on. And if you do manage to stump us with something that we can't answer at the time, then we'll have your details and we'll look into it for you and come back to you at a later stage. So on today's agenda, we have, as usual, Graham Trick, the educational sales specialist at Adobe, is going to be joining us and doing the bulk of the presentation. I won't read through the whole sort of agenda, but you can see there he's going to be talking about Firefly's Image 3 AI model, which is new. Also going through the Creative Cloud licensing offerings. And one thing I want to touch on just briefly is an announcement from Adobe in the last couple of weeks that Acrobat perpetual licenses is going to be coming end of life in July. So that's going to be then ceasing the sale of all new perpetual Acrobat licenses. And the support of that is going to come to an end in June 2025. So any new perpetual licenses, the support isn't going to last all that long. So now really is the time to start thinking about moving over to those annual subscription licenses for your new purchases. Graham will give you a few more reasons why moving to a subscription model is going to benefit you and your organization as well. As ever, if there's any more information that you do need in terms of licensing and pricing, then do give myself or LD in the sales department a call or drop us an email and we'll try our best to help you out with your requirements and what you need moving forward. So with that, I will hand over to Graham. I'll stop sharing my screen for now.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So yeah, just in terms of the introductions and what Aled talked about there, one of the things we are looking at is how can we have greater engagement and help you to drive success across your institutes. And our mission in education has been built around three pillars. So driving student engagement, and that's very much around the use of Creative Cloud and Adobe Express. Increasing the value of a degree in higher education or the value of the qualifications that you're doing if you're working in K-12. And again, that's looking beyond the classroom with the named user license or student license pack offering. And again, that's using Creative Cloud and Adobe Express. And the third way that we look to help and support you as an institute to have success is through differentiation from the competition and helping you to increase enrollment and retention figures. And traditionally, that's where Adobe Acrobat and Acrobat Sign have sat. And coupled with that, there are clear advantages around using our PDF platform for research purposes in universities too. And with this drive and ambition and focus around helping you to be successful, we're looking to help modernize how you engage and how you use PDFs to support these outcomes. And one of these is the perpetual license program coming to an end. So you may well have had a notification around this. People from Pew LD and the team might have reached out around you. And part of that is to have greater impact with Acrobat. Now, there are some key differentiations when it comes to perpetual versus subscription. And when you move to a subscription model, straight away, you've got clear added benefits, such as allowing sign-in on multiple devices, including using the mobile apps. We've got integrations with other tools, whether that's with Adobe or within Office 365. We've got e-signature functionality, and you also benefit when you move to subscription on having the newest and the latest product developments, whether that's security updates or the GenAI features, which we showcased in March. And within education, we're definitely, traditionally, we're seeing institutes that use Acrobat using it to keep the PDF estate secure. And it allows you to integrate with existing classroom platforms and help you with your sustainability targets and institutes who've got a desire to go paperless. And with the fact that it's also included in Creative Cloud, you've got that ability to streamline your software deployments. And we all know that one of the great benefits of the education platforms with Creative Cloud is Adobe Acrobat is included within it. So you can buy an individual subscription, but it's also included in Creative Cloud for Education. And it is the essential PDF solution. So a lot of what I've talked about on the previous two slides, we can look at there. But if we talk about the capabilities, we've got conversion of paper to digital. We've got the creation of fillable forms. So really, you can go to that paperless side of things. We've got the ability to combine and organize content and putting together multiple sources and reordering PDFs that you may already have existing. We can add protections and government grade security within there. And you can also work from your favorite applications. So, you know, if you've got something that exists within Office 365, you can really conveniently work either from your from the web, from the apps, or even on your mobile to bring those across. And if you haven't played with Adobe Scan on your phone yet, I thoroughly recommend it. And where we're seeing Acrobat is everywhere across that organization. So if you're working in operations management, so you've got purchase orders, lease agreements, PDF drives those workflows, staff management around leave forms, budgeting, expenses, purchase orders, employee onboarding, it really does help and drive those. And actually on a student services side, things like individual education plans, device distribution organization, putting together accessible class materials. The liquid reader mode on mobile, for example, is absolutely fantastic for personalizing how you look at and read PDFs. In higher education, we look at housing forms, donor forms. Even on the grants and research side, we see that driving that business and those types of work. So if you're a perpetual license, someone who's purchased perpetual licenses, when you're looking at actually all the possibilities across the organization, it can really help and support. And the product range itself You've got three mobile apps. You've got Acrobat Pro on mobile. You've got the Fill and Sign app to make form completion really, really easy and simple. You've also got Acrobat Scan. And then on your desktop and through your browser, you've got Acrobat Pro, you've got Acrobat Reader and Acrobat Sign. Just a little recap of where we looked at last time was AI Assistant and how that can help you from an organizational point of view, but also from a teaching and learning point of view when you're planning lessons. So the AI Assistant now brings in an LLM, generative AI, to Acrobat and Acrobat Reader, and you can ask questions and start to have a conversational working relationship with the PDFs that you've got there. So whether it's designing a presentation outlet based on a journal article, or producing an email to highlight a strategy report that you want your staff to work alongside, you've got you've got the endless possibilities. And if you want to know more about that, I would highly recommend that you go back and you watch the March version of this webinar. So you've got access there. So and the details within that. So that was the little update around the perpetual and the move to subscription. The second update comes out of Max London, where we got Photoshop beta and also a new Firefly Image 3 model. So little hint for you, whenever you see these new models being released, these are the latest and greatest when it comes to different training on for generative AI. And generative AI in general, if you're looking to get the best and the highest quality results, always use the software that's got the latest version. So Firefly Image 3 model, that is going to be a much higher standard than the Image 2 or the Image 1 models of Firefly, much in the same way with other generative AIs that are on the market. And within Photoshop beta, we made some major announcements, well, some nice little add-ons within there. And we've improved the generative fill feature, for example. So you can gain more control and refine your generative AI results with the use of reference image. So if you have a look where we might have had previously on image 2 would have been that yellow bee, we can now bring in that image of a queen bee, and you can see there's a difference in terms of the quality of the image there. When if you look at the fine hairs on that bee's back, so you're getting greater details. The other addition is the reference image model. So what you can do, you can add themes and bring in imagery to support your creation. So again, if you've got a brand image that you might be wanting to use, if you've got a color scheme that you want to use within a reference image, you can bring that in, you can change the strengths there, which is fantastic for the ideation part of a project. And it really does enrich the process and produces more relevant and customized results. And it's without you having to depend solely on text prompts, which it's really helpful for specific details that might be really hard to describe. The other thing that we released is the generate image. And what this feature enables you to do is to create an entire image from scratch. So when you go into Photoshop and you start that blank canvas up, you now get a pop-up where you can use the generate image. So you can go in with your content type, with your description, you can add your styles and effects. You can also use that new reference image for initiating an idea where you don't have that starting image to create. For me, as a former geography teacher, this is great because I can think of the countless hours where I might have used I might have done Google searches, image searches to try and find the right image to use as a starting point or as a discussion point within a lesson or a seminar. But now what you can do is you can shorten that process by using the generate image feature, and you can generate dozens of ideas and images and achieve complex and custom outputs more efficiently. And one of the things that we could do is even within an English language course, you could imagine if you're doing a section around descriptive text, you could use this feature to create an image and then use the feature to support peer assessment and critique the written work. So has that narrative text achieved in the reader's mind's eye what they see on the image? What's the difference? How could we improve our writing to bring that in? So there's endless scopes there, alongside for those design professionals and people with ambitions to go into the design industries, being able to quickly ideate what they want to bring into projects. We've also got and released a new generative AI feature around Generate Similar. And this is a quick fire adjustment, an opportunity to generate quick fire alternatives to an idea. And in a few steps, you can really seamlessly remove and replace backgrounds or generated content that matches the lighting and the shadows from your original. So again, looking at what might those alternatives come in to improve a design. And the next area there is generate background. And generate background, it could be that within your work or with your assessment, creating that bottle as a 3D image, or perhaps even working alongside using logos in Illustrator might be the focus point for the work and the assessment. The background image might be something that you're not assessing. And now what you can do is, rather than spend that time in bringing those objects in and placing them, you can use that generate background feature to quickly enhance an image. So this example here, you can imagine it's an advert for a bottle of perfume for a new product launch, or a business studies project where you're putting together a series of adverts. You're going to be assessing the written aspects, but you want this image that will pop to prove that point, and generate image will really help to put that in place. The other cool feature that was released was the adjustment brush. And what you can see here is the way that you can do product enhancements to make images pop even more. So here's an image of an owl, and you've got that before and after image where the brightness and exposure have been adjusted to create that even more stunning photo. And this feature combines the traditional steps of selecting, masking, and applying an adjustment into one action. It's a more intuitive and more precise and more efficient editing experience, rather than navigating through the different tools on the masking and property panels. So this is really streamlining that process there. And it's great to know about how that helps to support the creative process. And the final one that we're going to look at today is that improved font browser. So now the final enhancement that we've put into Photoshop and is in Photoshop beta is that font browser to give you real-time access to search, filter, and preview the 25,000 plus fonts in the cloud without you having to leave the Photoshop app or interrupt your workflows. So again, from a student point of view, when they're creating the work, this can help them to lessen that time for creating those final projects. So it's been a busy month for Photoshop. That smaller announcement around Acrobat kind of puts together those announcements, and yeah, it's been a shorter update this month, and hopefully you'll get a chance to download, to use the Photoshop beta and start engaging with the new features in new and creative ways. So thank you very much.